wish you all a wonderful day today and healthy for sure despite the pandemic. So welcome to our meetup program with English Department, Faculty of Cultural Sciences, ONS Solo. We are happy to be here to say hello again to you all in our meetup program with English Department, ONS Solo. So this is a 30-minute sharing program held by the English Department, Faculty of Cultural Sciences, Universitas Sebelas Maret, Solo. I am Fenty Kusmastuti with my partner here.
And I'm Taufik Al-Ma'mun. So, hello once again, Meetuppers, in our this week Meetup program. So once again, I need to remind you that this program can be accessed via our YouTube channel at English Department UNS Solo and also through our podcast. So, still in ICCoLLiC series for this week's program, and this week we would like to share who is the speaker that we would like to bring upon this program, Miss Fenty?
Right, so today we will have an interesting talk with Dr. Ujjwal Jana from Pondicherry University, India.
Right.
So he will talk about digital archives and the study and teaching of cultural heritage.
Correct. Yeah. So as I think we are right now in today's age of digital era, right? So I think there are a lot of archiving that we can put in a digital clouds, and then it is accessible all over the world. And it must be interesting to address this, that digital archiving and the digital humanities can be used as teaching material. Yeah.
Yes, especially nowadays, like when we are having this pandemic, everything is digitalized.
Right.
So I bet curious want to know more about this.
Sure.
And we also want to know more about Dr. Ujjwal Jana before his speech.
Oh, yeah.
So, Pak Taufik, could you share some of information about him?
Yeah, so actually I have a paper, a bio note about Dr. Ujjwal Jana. So I can just read it for Meetuppers. So Dr. Ujjwal Jana is an associate professor in the Department of English at Pondicherry University. So this is a university and a central university in India. Yeah. So he is a recipient of numerous national and also international grants and fellowships, and has published in various journals, like a post-colonial text and then translation, Watch Quarterly, and Australia, etc. So he's, as I mentioned, have accepted like a various international program and fellowship. But now I would like to jump on the last one that is still ongoing project. So he has been awarded, with the MHRD, Government of India, funded International Collaborative Project in Digital Humanities in Indian Realm. I guess it's related to what we will speak in our today's meetup. Yeah, under the SPARK, which is the scheme for promotion of academic and research collaboration to collaborate with Western Sydney University, Australia for 2019 until 2021. It means that it's still going on, right? And his area of interest are Indian aesthetics, Indian literature, translation studies, and also cultural studies. Yeah, so that's what bring him to the ICCoLLiC actually, because he's one of great expert, who were to share his expertise. Yeah.
Exactly what we need. We're so lucky to have him today.
Yeah, I guess so.
Without any further ado, Meetuppers, so here is the talk from Dr. Ujjwal Jana.
Enjoy.
Interpret it and disseminate the findings. Let me mention it in this particular context. There are some kind of misconceptions, or I must say, there are so many prejudices towards the discipline called digital humanities. And I would like to make it very clear that digital tools or digital technology, of course, I have already mentioned it. It has been in practice also in the field of educational technology, as we all know it, because we have been making use of ICT, and we have been making use of other kind of tools for facilitating teaching learning processes. But let me make it clear ICT is not digital humanities. Social media is not digital humanities. Facebook is not digital humanities. So many people have a, kind of, I must say, that have a prejudiced opinion. Oh, digital humanities. Okay, it is already there. All the social media platforms and all the online teaching learning processes, they are all part of digital humanities. But I would like to, differ with them in many instances, and which I would like to substantiate my point in the next part of my talk. So ICT is not digital humanities. Social media is not digital humanities. Of course, they are digital tools. They are the digital technology. Now the question is that, how are we going to make use of these devices, these social media? How are we going to make use of these ICT tools successfully for implementing, their implementing or their implications in the field of humanities classroom? That I'm going to talk about it. So digital humanities refers to new modes of scholarship, institutional unit of collaborative, transdisciplinary, computationally research and teaching and publication. So this is what has happened. So if we try to look at the journey from the a non-digital to digital, this is what has happened. So print is no longer the primary medium in which knowledge is produced. As you all know, traditionally, books, the printed textbooks have been the repository of knowledge, and there have been many libraries, there have been many museums, there have been many cultural archives which have generally been considered as the repository or the sources of knowledge. And I must say, digital tools and techniques and media have expanded our traditional concept of knowledge. So when we think of this non-digital versus digital, if we think of it in terms of humanities teaching also, it has completely transformed the idea of teaching, learning processes in the classrooms. And and the changes, the remarkable revolutionary changes digital technology have had, these are all clearly conspicuous and visible in every segment of our teaching learning processes. So now I'm going to talk about briefly, what is digital humanity, just to give you our learned audiences a little bit of idea about digital humanity. So I'd like to give you a little bit of definitions. And so digital humanities practices are not limited to conventional humanities departments, but can affect every humanistic field in university, both those within the discipline of humanities and those in other disciplines like history, anthropology, arts, architecture, information studies, film and media studies. But at the same time, I must make it very clear that please try to understand digital humanity is a natural expansion of the traditional scope of humanities. I must say that means the traditional field of humanities have kind of made into the digital form because of the digital revolutions. So digital humanities is not a replacement. We have to keep in mind, digital humanities is not a replacement for the traditional humanities discipline. This is one thing. Second thing is that neither it is a rejection of the traditional humanities inquiry. This has to be very much clear. Many of us have the idea that, okay, digital humanities, it is a complete replacement of the traditional form of the knowledge, traditional or the field of humanities. It is not at all. Rather, I must say that it is an extension of the traditional scope of humanities supported by digital tools and technology. This is one thing. Second thing is that digital humanities as a discipline will basically supplement or complement our understanding of traditional humanities disciplines. This is one thing. And so the role of humanities, I must say, has been changing over a period of time, in this case particularly because of the intervention of digital tools and technology. So instead of the print formats, instead of the printed archives format, we are using the digital formats. So I must say that the journey from analog to digital has been remarkable, and this is what is we are going to talk about it. And another definition is that digital humanities is also, as you all know, digital humanity, as far as the definition of digital humanities is concerned, critics are also very much perplexed and also confused how to define it. Some people are of the opinion that digital humanity is an academic discipline. Some of the scholars are of the opinion that no, digital humanities is not a discipline, because it is, digital humanities as a tool belongs to every field of studies. Even a historian can make use of digital humanities. Even a musician can also make use of digital humanities. Even an architect can also make use of digital humanities. Even a librarian also can make use of digital humanities. So digital humanity as a discipline does not belong to any discipline. This is one thing. Second thing is that digital humanities is basically a set of approaches. I'm just trying to give some of the idea. Digital humanities is basically a set of approaches, and any field of inquiry, whether it is social sciences, whether it is physical sciences, whether it is commerce and industry, whether it is art and architecture, anybody from any field of knowledge can make a successful use of digital technology in the dissemination of knowledge. So as a whole, digital discipline, this is what I'm talking about. Digital humanities is a social undertaking. It harbors network of people who have been working together, sharing research, arguing, competing, and collaborating for many years. So digital humanities is basically a collaborative project. It is a project which is being compiled. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, very clear, Utpal.
Okay. Because
just go on. Yeah.
Because I'm not able to see the faces of the audiences, so I'm just looking at my slides. Okay, so digital humanities has basically has resulted in a non-hierarchical relations. That okay, I mean, we have always made a binary between east and west, south and north and south, kind of idea. So digital humanities, I must say that it is a liberating force, which has so I'll just briefly talk about that one. So digital humanities is not a unified field. This is what I'm talking about it. It's a collaborative field because it's an interdisciplinary field in which a musician or a musician can sit with a librarian or an archivist and can plan together. Even a computer scientist can sit together, sit with a literary historian or a literary critic, and they can plan how to go about dissemination of knowledge in different kind of fields. So in the next part of my kind of talk, I'm going to talk about, these are the discipline. Digital tools, techniques, and media have altered the production and dissemination of knowledge in the arts humanities. I have already talked about it. And now the question is that this is a brief history of digital humanities. As you all know, digital humanities as a discipline has been in existence for the last almost 70 years. And the earliest work of digital humanities could be found in 1949 when Jesuit scholar Roberto Busha, working in collaboration with IBM, undertook the creation of an automated approach to his first indexed Thomisius, a computer-generated concordance to the writings of Thomas Aquinas. The first specialized journal in digital humanities started in 1966. It's called Computers and Humanities. And as you all know, over a period of time, the nomenclatures have undergone rapid changes. And one of the significant developments in the field of digital humanities took place in the year 1973, when this association, as you all know, the Association for Literary and Linguistic Computing was established. And then in the 1978, Association for Computer and Humanities, then many organizations came into existence. And what happened particularly, many of the institutes or universities in the Western academia, they had institutionalized digital humanities courses. They had started many journals. They had started many PhD program, master's program, and also they had established many organizations, and they started organizing conferences, seminars. So I must say that it is already an established discipline in the Western academia. I must say in Europe and in North America particularly, but in I must say as far as South Asia or East Asia is concerned, we are making slow but steady kind of progresses. And now I am going to talk about it. This is something very, very important, that what are the digital humanities tools, and definitely my topic, digital archiving, will come within this particular kind of rubric, and then I will go for more explanation about digital archiving. So there are different digital tools or different digital methodology. This briefly I'm talking about it. One is the data collection. I mean, see, we have to keep in mind, if we think of the two different kind of stages, the non-digital kind of stage and the digital stage. In the non-digital stage, we have the books, and what do we have in the books? We have sentences, or we have information. This is what we call information. We have the text, basically, or we have the printed text, we have the words, we have the sentences, and now with the with the arrival of digital technology, so all those information have got a different nomenclature. This is called data. So so that means all the textual information, when they are put into a digital format, and it takes the form, we call it a data. So data is nothing but a replacement of the information that we have in a printed text or printed journal, or maybe traditionally whatever we have. So basically data is a very important term as far as computational techniques and methods are concerned, and data collection is one of the most important methodology. And how do we collect data? Data collection can be done by means of qualitative methods like interview, oral history, ethnography. These are the different kind of tools. And the second one is digitization. So actually digitization is very much important. I'm going to focus more on it because it is the act of digitization, or it is this technical process of digitization which basically kind of goes into the making of digital archive. So I'll talk more about it. The text encoding. Text encoding means text encoding is a very, very computational aided method. It is a highly technical method which is generally considered as one of the, this is called TEI, text encoding initiative, is one of the most important tools for or considered one of the most important approaches in digital humanities. Then data extraction. Okay, data, I mean, when we have the data, then definitely we have to collect the data, we have to extract the data for our research, for our analysis, and then data interpretation. Once we collect the data, then we extract data which are important for our purposes, we interpret the data, and we analyze it for our research purposes. These are all different kind of tools also. Then there are other kind of tools also. Text mining. Text mining, as you all know, the word mining, which is taken from the field of geology or earth sciences. So text mining or analysis tools also are available to analyze the text over the vast corpora of text document. Maybe because of the paucity of time, I may not be able to share my thoughts with that. But let me make it clear that this text mining or analysis is a method which is adopted in the field of language and literature studies, translation studies, history, and philosophical tools. And then there is called spatial or temporal analysis with GIS. As you all know, GIS, Geographical Information System, or maybe what we call remote sensing, I mean, this is a discipline, this is a well-established discipline for the last 25 years. And the tools or the techniques for data visualization, network analysis, statistical analysis, which are applied in the field of geographical information system, are now being applied in digital humanities. Then there is one more called data visualization. This is also one of the most significant tools which is being applied in digital humanities research. Okay, now I am coming to the second part of my talk, where I am going to talk about digital archiving. Okay, I mean, let us talk about archiving, and then I will come to digital archiving. What is an archiving? The word archiving comes basically from the word called archive. What is an archive? an archive, maybe I can say that archive is a, if I put it, archive is a place where, you know, rare materials, and also we must say that, you know, very unconventional, rare and materials are manuscripts, rare documents, pictures, materials, all of them are being, you know, stored. So basically archive is a place which plays a very, very significant role in the growth and development of a life of a nation, because archive basically is a repository of the rare documents, the historical, the cultural, the political, the, you know, kind of thing. And we all know archives exist in different places. Like we have an archive in the libraries, we have an archive in the museums, and archive can be both personal, can be institutional. Even say for example, an individual can have a personal archive of their, you know, family tree. An individual author can have an archive of the, you know, writings, maybe literary writings or images or something of that matter for the whole family. So it can be family archive, it can be a cultural archive, it can be an institutional archive. So archive is something which can be made from any of the, you know, any of the institutional kind of, it can be individual, it can be personal, it can be community, it can be country, anything. So now when, I mean, all these archives have been existing in the traditional domains, and we have visited many of the archives for our research work and kind of thing. Now the question is that when it comes to digital archiving, then, you know, the idea becomes completely changed. And behind the creation of a digital archive, so originally it was a traditional archive and now it has become a digital archive. Now what is a digital archive? Digital archive is nothing but a repository of knowledge, repository of rare information, repository of objects, images, everything in the digital format. In the non-digital format, it was in non-digital formats, and in the digital archiving, all of them have become digitized and they are all existing in digital formats. And I must say, one of the computational tools I had mentioned earlier, which has made a revolutionary, I mean, played a revolutionary role in this you know, creation of digital archive is called digitization. We all know it, digitization, and we are doing it in our day-to-day life. So for example, we have a picture of my grandmother and I am scanning it within 2 minutes and I am sharing it with my friends and kind of thing. I have a book, I have a printed material, I am scanning it and I am sharing it with my, so digitization is a technique by which we can convert a data from the analog to digital. And what is this data? This data can be an object, can be image, can be a book, anything. I mean, it can be a museum, it can be an image, it can be a picture, anything. It is not necessary that a data has to be only a printed material. You know, it can be both, I must say, tangible and the intangible objects. Let us keep in mind. And I'm going to give you some kind of examples. And digitization, this is something important. Digitization is the means by which digital archive can be created. And I'm not going into the technical nitty-gritty. I mean, how to digitize, because a computer scientist, you know, is responsible for talking about that. My job as a humanities scholar is to talk about how digital archive exists as in a born digital archive. Digital archive, although we have been existing because of the digitization processes. So these are the different kind of roles. Digital, it is a repository of materials, documents. It is a knowledge domain. It is a domain where manuscripts, rare documents and pictures, personal, social, cultural value live. And now one of the most significant roles that digital archive can take place. I'm coming to the function. I mean, cultural heritage. So these are the different, you know, domains of digital digital archiving. Now let me talk about Mr. Taufik. Can you please, you know, alert me about my timing? How much time do I have?
Okay, right now you still have 6 minutes.
Okay, 6 minutes. Okay, okay. Let me, you know, make it. Okay, maybe I'll ask you to give me 10 more minutes. And so, as you all know, digital archiving, or I must say, digital archiving has given us a liberating space from the, you know, encoded traditional form of knowledge. So this is what I'm coming to the point, because knowledge was, you know, kind of knowledge was confined. Knowledge was kind of, I must say, fossilized, and digital space has made it liberating. It is a democratizing process. Now I'm coming to digital archive versus digital pedagogy. What do you mean by digital pedagogy? Digital pedagogy means the way we, say for example, we as a teacher of humanities, we all teach different kind of courses. Somebody teaches English language teaching, somebody teaches literary studies like Shakespeare, John Milton, we all teach Shakespeare, or we all teach T.S. Eliot, we all teach George Bernard Shaw, we all teach Commonwealth literature, various kind of literatures. So digital archives, this is my point of view, digital archives hold the potential of having an enormous impact on the teaching and learning of social studies. Teaching and learning with digital archives holds the potential of transforming the nature of social studies and education. And now, of course, we have been integrating technology into our education, but that is not digital humanities. I have been always talking about it. Digital archives. Let me, in the next part of my presentation, I am going to show you some of the digital archives, and I'm going to talk about it, how those digital archives can be a potential tool for teaching or making use of them in the classrooms and make your teaching learning a better kind of experience. And I mean, these are the two things generally we do consider. What are the teachers' experiences of preparing an inquiry based on digital archives research paper? What are the teachers' perceptions on digital archive can impact social studies teaching learning? Now, these are the kind of things. And what kind of digital digital archives or we can make use of them in the classroom? I have already made digital archive. It can be a memory project. I mean, memory archives. It can be a partition archive. It can be a religious archive. It can be a cultural archive, which all can be made use of in that kind of thing. Now I'm going to show you some of the archives which have been done by Government of India. I don't know whether this link will. I don't know whether it will open. Maybe this is the click. Okay, I think it has opened. And I'd like to show you some kind of Government of India's Ministry of Culture has created a complete website in which everything will be there. I'll just, it's a all of them, all the culture, all the technical, I mean tangible and non-tangible things. Yeah, these are the, I think these are the digital kind of archives. I mean, as far as digital humanities is concerned, this is from a talk. So all our cultural heritages, all these ancient civilizations and all these things, they have been digitally archived. See, look at it. I mean, the religious, these are the gods and goddesses. So, and yeah, see these are all from mythological kind of things which have been archived, maybe based on some paintings which was done maybe 2000 years before, 3000 years before. These are all kind of, I mean, digital archives which have been based on. So let me move on to the next. And I would like to, okay, see, I'd like to show you some of the pictures. See, this is one of the, this is a painting. This is called Madhubani painting. This particular painting, I think, exists in one part of India. And look at the painting tradition. So that means digital, this is a digital format of that particular kind of painting. Let me show you some others. See, look at this. This is also a kind of, digital format of the painting. And let me show you, this is also one of them. I think the picture has been done today. And and then I would like to give you some examples. This particular, see, this is the primary text. As you all know, we all teach John Donne, one of the metaphysical poets in all our classrooms. Now, this is the original text. This is the original text. I have got it from British Library at the Museum Archive. I'm extremely indebted to them. This is one of the poems which is prescribed in many of the other universities across the globe. Now, when you are teaching, say for example, you are going to teach digital, kind of a course on John Donne in your classroom, And when you are talking about that particular kind of poem, and you show this particular manuscript along with your presentation, definitely it will kind of enhance the understanding of the learners to a greater extent. Not only that, there have been many other, if you look at the original manuscript also, in which Dan had written in hand, those things are also available. So I mean, by making use of these kind of digital archives, I mean, this is called born digital archives of Dan's kind of texts. And then I would like to see, look at it. This is William Blake, one of the significant of the early romantic poets. As you all know, William Blake was a poet, painter. So look at it. I mean, we have got an idea that he was a writer, he was a painter, he was a sculptor. Look at it. I mean, he has written a particular kind of poem with the help of all those kind of pictures. So when you are going to teach a poem on Blake, particularly this particular poem, it is one of the most significant poems in the classroom. Definitely, it will expand the understanding, the knowledge, the scholarship of your own students, and then you can talk about it, how Blake had conceptualized this particular poem when he had written that. Because otherwise, when the students are reading something in the classroom, they are only reading the text. They do not know what is the story behind the composition of that particular kind of poem. What kind of what kind of sculptural patterns or what kind of sketching was done based on that particular kind of poem. So these are some of the resources which I would like to share with you for the better dissemination of knowledge. See, this is one of the letters. This is a handwritten letter by one of the friends of the romantic poet called John Keats. When John Keats was extremely ill, he was completely bedridden. This was the letter written by one of his friends. Now question is that when you are going to talk about John Keats's life, you are going to talk about Keats's texts. These are the documents. I mean, I must say these are the digital, these are the archiving documents related to Keats's life, Keats's literary career, which might kind of enhance your understanding. And I must say that I mean, it will completely change the way we teach literatures, literary texts. And for my learned audiences, I must suggest that you can do this kind of experiment. So let me stop sharing this and let me come back. So definitely my learned audiences can make use of these digital archives. They are all existing in different formats, and I must say British library, I mean, absolutely, I mean, all Asian collections, all Asian texts, they are existing in digital formats. And say, for example, you do not know that some Indonesian writer, whatever he had kind of written in the original format, the text, the original manuscript, it may not be there in your own country, but it is still there in the British library. So maybe let me talk about Suharto. I think maybe the first Indonesian, I think, political leader. So if you would like to kind of talk about him, about his culture, go through his letters which he had written kind of in his own hand, bring the materials. And so my humble submission here is that so making use of digital archives, born digital materials, we can definitely kind of travel miles in expanding our horizon of teaching learning processes. It can be implemented in teaching in the classrooms. It can be implemented in our research activities. And if you are a research scholar, if you are a PhD supervisor, definitely you can encourage your scholars to read, to do projects on this particular kind of field. Let me wind up by giving an example. A couple of days before, I was actually attending one webinar by International Institute of Asian Studies in Leiden University. There was a presentation, the translation of Communist Manifesto. The translation of Communist Manifesto in different Indonesian languages. It was a fantastic study. You will be surprised to know that the text Communist Manifesto has been translated several times from different. And when you read different kind of translations, produced in different ages, they talk about the contemporary socio-cultural scenario of the time. And if you make a kind of comparative study, definitely it will give you the social, cultural, political affiliations that your country had been having. So, and now it is only possible because of the digital archiving, because all the original texts, I mean all the translations made from maybe English into Indonesian languages, they are all existing in digital formats. I must say, digital archiving is giving us an opportunity to experiment with knowledge. It has given us a democratizing space, cosmopolitanizing space to enhance our understanding, and of course to negotiate with better mode of teaching, better mode of resources in days to come. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Utwal Jana from Pondisari University. Thank you for your sharing in terms of digital humanities, digital archiving, and also the potential application of digital archiving in teaching, especially in our today's era that actually is part of our humanities today. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Utwal Jana.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much, Dr. Utwal Jana. So, Midabers, that is the end of the talk. And I find it very enlightening, Pak Taufik. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I think so. It is very important to understand what digital humanities is, especially in the age of a digital era like today, right? So there is possibilities that humanities work, humanities project can be relied on digital world, that the archive or the products of cultural and humanities can be there, yeah, saved in the cloud and can be accessed everywhere, and it can be useful, like what Dr. Utwal Jana mentioned. We can use the archive for teaching, so we can access from all over the world when it is there in the cloud.
Right. So as teachers, students too, we must also learn about digital archiving, right?
Right. Yeah.
We are so happy to get information from
Sure. Yeah.
So,
So-
Midabers,
I hope Midabers can have like a more insight, new insight, if I cannot say that, about digital humanities, and it might be like a references for humanities in the future. Yeah, how it might be developed.
yes, we are already in the future, I guess. Right. So thank you so much for your attention, Midabers. Still in ICCoLLiC series, first international conference on communication, language, literature, and culture. So again, this is an international conference hosted by the English Department, Faculty of Cultural Sciences, Universitas Sebelas Maret.
Right. Okay. And that's the end of our meetup program this week. And of course, we will come back with a meetup program by next week. And actually, we still have the ICCoLLiC series that we will bring to you. Okay. Thank you for your attention this week. I'll see you in the next meetup program. I'm Taufik Al-Mahmud.
And I'm Fenty Sumastuti. See you again next time.
Bye-bye. Oops, I
Bye.
left my face.
Stay safe.